Just doing a quick sound check, guys. Let me know how it is. Then we're good to go. Is that a yes, you can hear me? Can you hear me? Surely you can hear me. Okay, sweet. All right, so today we pretty much, as I was telling you guys after that last MCAT tutorial on, when was it? Tuesday night, I think it was. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, I can't remember when. What I'm going to try and do is try and go through like one question per one section per day, or like per tutorial time. So today we're going to be looking at 5 questions. We're going to be doing a couple of, I think, 1 achieved, 2 merits, and 2 excellences, I would say. So yeah, so I've got 3 questions ready for you guys. I'm just trying to work out the 4th question at the moment. I haven't had time today. I was too busy playing Fall Guys. So what we'll do is, while you guys work through these questions, I'm going to give you guys some time for each of these questions. Obviously, the achieved ones, we won't spend too much time, but the merit and excellence will spend a little bit of time. All right, so in saying that, we'll start off with this question here, and I'll go through the answer at 8:08 p.m. Just be careful with the what do you call it, the negatives. All right, give it a go, and I'll just try and work this other question out. Gonna try and see if I can do this. Sorry guys, I was not as prepared as I should have been. Okay, so we're going to go through this first question here. We've got this is a normal kind of starting question that they have in MCAT, learning how to substitute the values. So that's what we're going to do here. And generally speaking, these questions, you have to get the correct answer, otherwise you're not going to get any kind of grade there. So with that in mind, we've got substituted -1 for all of the y's. -1 cubed is -1, so it's 3 times -1, plus 2 times -1 squared is +1, -4 times -1 is +4, plus 7. What we've got here is -3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7. So it's 11, 13 minus 3. We should be getting an answer of 10. Unless I made this wrong, which I sometimes do make some really silly, stupid mistakes. So this question here, it will be an achieved question. I'm assuming it's fairly straightforward, so I'm guessing we can move on to the next question. Yeah, welcome Talia. Yeah, it's just you gotta just keep in mind for this question, right? When they do that, if they put a negative value in there, there's probably a squared in there. So you're going to have to kind of keep that in mind. All right, I'm assuming we're okay with this, and we'll go to the second question for the night. And while you guys are working on this question, I am going to try and get this other question off. So I'll give you guys a few minutes for this. I've just made this question too hard. Let me just find, no, well, not this one. I'm actually looking at another question at the moment for you guys. Gonna try and work this out. Seven, 2 times 20, 50. All right, guys, we're going to go to the next question. So as I've always said before with these quadratic equations, right? Like, I mean, if you know how to work this with quadratic formula, then by all means go ahead. That's absolutely fine. Now, if you are guessing and checking, I think guessing and checking is still okay for this particular question, but it just gets a bit hectic. Now, I've also seen some other people do some like cross multiply kind of things. Look, whatever works for you, that's the one you got to go with. So the way I kind of work this out is I actually take the 6 and I multiply it with the -6, which gives me negative 36. And then I have a look at this positive 5 here. And what I want to do is I want to look for two numbers that multiply to negative 36 and add to positive 5. Now, I know that it's going to be 9 and 4. So 9 times -4 is negative 36. And 9 plus -4 is positive 5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace that positive 5x with 9x and negative 4x. So I write the quadratic as it is. So I've got 6x squared minus 6 is equal to 0. But now that inside terms are going to be 9x minus 4x. Now it doesn't matter whether you write negative 4x first or 9x. It doesn't really matter, because eventually it'll still work out. I'm not going to try and pronounce your name, but yeah, I think it is worth learning it, because it does, you know, you're guaranteed to get that answer without any kind of like guessing and checking or like little mistakes that you can make. So I say, why not? So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of split it into two parts, and I'm going to factorize the left-hand side of the pink line, which is going to be, what do I got, 3x maybe? Yeah, 3x, 2x plus 3. And then on this side of the pink line, I've got negative 2 as a common factor, which is going to give me 2x plus 3 equals to 0. And from here I can see that 2x plus 3 is a common factor. So I'm going to take that as a common factor, which means I'm going to get 2x plus 3 bracket 3x minus 2. And if you're wondering where that 3x came from, it's from here, and the minus 2 is from there. Minus 9 in front of the negative 4x. Keegan, that's a really good question. It is just one of these algorithms that you kind of pick up after a long time, and then yeah, there is a formula, there is an explanation behind it, but maybe when I get some time later on, I'll actually try and do that a little bit more. Don't worry, Arman. What I'll do is I'll do the question first, and then I'll actually ask you guys if there's any more questions, and then I'll take my time explaining it. All right. So we're going to kind of carry on with this because it is asking us to solve this question. So we've actually got 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, or 3x minus 2 is equal to 0. So in the first situation, we've got 2x is equal to minus 3, and then we can say that x is equal to minus 3 divided by 2. So that's one of your answers. And your second answer is going to be 3x is equal to 2, and then x is equal to 2 divided by 3. Now, generally speaking, this question ends up being a merit question. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put a bunch of lines. Sorry, 3. Let's just try that. Line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you guys don't understand any particular lines, give me a yell out in the chat, and then I'll try and explain it to you guys. So exotic, doesn't matter if you have the 9x in front of the negative 4x. I'm not sure what are you trying to say whether we can put negative 4x first, because it wouldn't matter which one you put, because they should both generally factorize. Right, okay. Is it okay if I wrote 3x minus 2 first? Yep, that's fine, Kiar. You can actually write 3x minus 2 first. Arman, I think what we were trying to do was this. We were trying to actually see this positive 5x. We wanted to write this positive 5x. We wanted to split it up so we can factorize. And if you have a look at it, what I've done is this is where the split happens. So if you look at the green part that I've actually highlighted, that's positive 5x, because 9x minus 4x is actually 5x. All I've done is I've just taken the quadratic and I've ripped apart the 5x into 9x and minus 4x. And to do that, I kind of do line number 2 first, because that's going to tell me how I should separate that middle term. Once I separate the middle term, then I can factorize the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. Because Talia, as I said to you, I'm trying to break the positive 5x. So if you look at it right at the top there, when I highlighted it in red right there, I'm just looking at the numbers here. But in reality, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to split 5x into 2 numbers that I can factorize with a common factor. So that's why I have to put, so from line 2 to line 3, notice how this goes from 9 to 9x, and this becomes negative 4 to negative 4x. Because really, what's that plus 5? That plus 5 is an x. It has an x in front of it, doesn't it? And because it has an x in front of it, all I've done is I've just kind of split that 5x up into 9x and negative 4x. If you have further questions, guys, feel free to ask. That's the whole point of this. I'm just trying to work out 105 minus 250. Oh God, that's an ugly number. Grade for this, I would say, geez, good question. Let me just check, because I know that in, which paper is this? 2019 paper. Let me check. Question 1B is set up factors. Yeah, it looks like it's a merit question. Yeah, so definitely a merit question for this, to try and solve this. I don't think this will be an achieved anyway, because achieved would be like when the number in front of x squared is actually 1. Any other question, guys? Well, I mean, in this case, it's kind of tricky, because it's like normally saying like you're probably looking at the grade of merit for both of these answers, right? In terms of achieved, what do they say for achieved? Like, I mean, there's so many things for achieved. Like, you could set up one pair of the factorized bracket, so anywhere here could be achieved. If you make like a mistake with one of these solutions, you could also get an achieved for as well. Kiar, I would say so, but I'm trying to work on a question to get a solution. I have to say I'm a bit struggling at the moment to try and get a nice question for you guys. I keep stuffing it up, so yeah, it might not work. I might just need to do a couple of quick little things, but it's all right. I'll try and yeah, I'll try and do this. But okay, anyway, look, let's go to the next question, because the next question is definitely an excellence question. And what I'll do is I'm going to give you guys about 5 minutes for this, because I need this time to try and work out this last question. And I need a calculator, because find my calculator. Oh, I do have one. What do you know? And it works. Incredible. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to do this question while I try and sort out this ugly question that I'd created for us. Okay, 2 times. I did, Keegan, I did this afternoon. I was actually playing with my kid and we streamed it. Unless I make it much, much bigger. 107 times. MCAT is usually like 1 hour. That's what you're looking at. This question is not working out. 7 times 15. Much more time. We've got about 3 minutes, guys. Or two and a half. I have a feeling I'm not going to get this question out. 2x minus 3, 17. I might not be able to do that last question today, folks, because I'm just kind of trying to rush through it at the moment. I might need to change that last question because I wanted to do like an area question, but it's just not working out today. Maybe I'm just gonna make it simpler. No, it's I'm trying to set up the question, and that's the problem. Because I'm trying to set up the question so it's not like too complex for you guys, but I keep getting like huge numbers. What are we at? Oh, 8:27. Sorry, thought we would have done. Jay, I think the one question I did in like 2017, I had a predicted question like basically something like this, but without the equal sign, but they have like a less than sign. I think that's the most craziest question that I've actually seen. All right, so we're going to get started with this question here. Now, looking at this question, the first thing we have to recognize is that we're working with indices. And when you look at indices, you know, we've got 9 and then we've got 3. So the first thing we need to remember is that 3 squared is equal to 9. And so we're going to replace the 9 with 3 squared. So when we do that, we're going to get 3 squared times 3 to the power of 2x plus 6 equals 3 to the power of x squared. So with that in mind, when we have two bases that are the same, what we'll do is we'll actually combine the two powers. We've got to add them up, because if you remember, if you have a to the power of m times a to the power of n, this is a to the power of m plus n. So because of that, what we're going to do is we're going to go 3 to the power of 2 plus 2x plus 6 equals 3 to the power of x squared. Now we can actually combine that 6 and 2, so we're going to get 2x plus 8 equals 3 to the power of x squared. So at this point, because of our two bases, which is 3 in this case, they're the same, we can almost ignore it and say that the two powers must equal to each other. And if the two powers equal to each other, we're going to get 2x plus 8 equals x squared. Rearranging this, we're going to get x squared minus 2x minus 8. We can now factorize this, and we can see that it's going to be x minus 4, x plus 2. And because of that, we can say x minus 4 equals to 0, or x plus 2 equals to 0. So in the first situation, we can say that x is equal to 4. And in the second situation, we can say that x equals to minus 2. Now, surprisingly, grades-wise for this question, it is consistently solves. Yeah, it's an excellent question. How did I get 3x squared? I think that was part of the question there, Arman. So as usual, I'm going to throw some line numbers and feel free to yell out if there's any particular line that you didn't understand. Question font a bit small. Oh, is it? Sorry. I'll try and pick it up next time. Sorry guys, just working out 4x plus 1. Okay, I think I might actually have a question for us. 25, 25, 5 and 5, 25, 25, 15, 10. Cool. Any questions with this particular one? Any line numbers that you guys have a problem with? I'll just grab a quick drink of water. Did you get that, Talia? Because you've kind of been working on it for a while. No pressure. Guys, look, I'm gonna be brutally honest, right? Like, and the reason why Exotic Cheeto, why this comment is coming through, is quite simple. All right, it's just when you are actually logging in right now, you're actually wanting to learn. I mean, that's the difference, right? Like when you want to learn, it doesn't matter who explains it, you will listen and you'll actually learn. Because I'll be honest, like half my kids won't listen to me in class. That's because they're not ready to learn, and I'm okay with that. Even when I was actually teaching NCEA level maths, you know, I had kids that would sit in my class and, you know, wouldn't listen to me, but that's just the way it is because they're not ready to learn in class. There's other things that's happening. Right now, you are learning is because you're actually fully focused. You've made the effort to say, I'm here to learn, and that's why you're learning. It's as simple as that. All right, I'm not like anything special here or anything like that. Anyway, you're welcome, Color Track. I guess we can move on to the next question. All right, guys, this was the kind of question I was working on, and I just need to grab the words for this, exactly the words for it. All right, so just give me a second. So we've got our lawn here. What are the things that I got? I got 8x minus 3. Sorry, it's a bit messy, but that's what happens when you try and come up with this question on the spot. Okay, so just gonna do this here. Just want to show you guys which part. I should have really colored it green, but you know what? I don't really have. I should have stuffed it up. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, there we go. I think that's all looking good. Now, what was the question that I had? Here we go. This is part A of the question. If perimeter of lawn is 20 meters, find x. Yep, that's okay. Yes, color track. I think I'll be doing MCAT till the MCAT is finished. Once that's finished, we'll do tables, equations, and geometric reasoning. So we got 2 more questions for tonight, guys, and this would be an achieved question, I think. Oh no, it's a merit question. Wow. Okay, while you guys are doing that, because that should be fairly quick for you guys, I just need to do this one more step. That minus 4x minus 1 minus times 2x. Come on. Cool, got it. Well, it's clutch. I had to kind of write up the question at the same time as you guys are actually working. When is the next live? It's going to be tomorrow, Joe channel. Yeah, you can watch the replay, Arman. That'll, once I stop the video, it should pretty much be up and live and up and running within like a few minutes. Nathan Solo would have loved to do probability destruction, but no, unfortunately, I don't have time to do stats. Yeah, but you know, it's just too much on my plate at the moment with just maintaining the algebra side of things. All right, guys. Now, with this question, and I guess this kind of works really. You know, some people look at this question and they start kind of freaking out because they're like, oh, there's just too many kind of sides you need to work out. Now, if you look at the perimeter of the lawn, I'm going to actually draw the perimeter of the lawn in a different color, right? So let's say we start from at the bottom left and we work our way up. So it's basically this part, this part here, and then this one, and this. All right, this is what we've got actually. This is what it's equal to 20 meters. Now, the thing is, what you have to do, like some people like to do, is basically go, well, I'm going to try and work out each one of those sides. Now, if you think about it, this side is already given, this top one is given, but this one is not, this one is not, this is given, and these ones are not. So now you could actually try and work it out. All right, and I'm only going to do one of them because the thing is, I'm going to show you guys a shortcut with this particular way it works. And did you guys want me to show both methods, or did you just want me to show you the shortcut? But you kind of will understand. Just shortcut. Okay, look, the beauty of perimeter question is like this, right? Now, if you think about it, I'm going to draw this rectangle again. All right, so there is my little spots, right? Now, if you think about it like this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these parts, I'm not going to touch them. So I'm not going to touch these, like, I'm just going to look at those outside parts. Now, what you can do is imagine this part here, which is highlighted in blue. Imagine that just gets moved right up. So it's kind of like cutting that blue piece, all right, and actually pasting it here. Because it's a perfect rectangular shape, right? And if it's a rectangular shape, I could actually move this blue shape out to the top line, all right? Then if this was the green part of it is here, then I could actually move this green one to this side, and it's going to look like this. Same with the bottom part as well. So this green piece, I'm going to cut it and I'm going to move it to the edge. And as for the blue piece, I'm going to cut it and I'm going to move it down below. And by literally doing that, what I've done is, I'm going to see if I can try and get rid of those two things. Oh, that was a good attempt. So hopefully you guys can see that I've literally just moved the piece up. And by moving those pieces up, I've actually created a rectangle, a clean rectangle. And because I know the measurement of the rectangle, because the rectangle's 8x minus 3 from there to there, and from there to there is 4x plus 1. And if you look at the perimeter of this rectangle, you've actually got 2 times 8x minus 3 plus 2 times 4x plus 1, and all of that is equal to 20 meters. So I'm going to pause you guys there before I carry on. Did you guys understand what I did there with cutting those two pieces and kind of moving it across? Now it doesn't matter. I mean, I'll show you the other method as well, and you're still going to get both. You're still going to get the same answer. Because even though like it looks awkward, all I've done is I'm looking at the perimeter. I'm not really worried about the area. But yeah, color track, that's exactly right. Because if you did it the other way, you're going to have like so many little terms that you actually have to try and work out. So I'm going to pause you guys there, and I'm going to come back to this diagram, and I'm going to show you guys here. So we've got 4x plus 1 as the height. This part from here to here is 2x, and if the total is 4x plus 1, then this part here is going to be 2x plus 1. All right, because if you notice, the 2x plus 1 plus 2x is equal to 4x plus 1. So you literally have to do that for each side. So in this case, we've got 2x plus 1 from here to here, and then from here to here we have 8x minus 3 minus 2x minus 1, so that's going to be 6x minus 4. So that's that distance covered. Then we've got on this side, from here to here, we've got 4x minus 1. Gonna write that better. And because 4x plus 1 is the full length, this length is going to be 2. And then finally at the bottom, we've got 4x minus 1. So we're going to go 8x minus 3 minus 4x minus plus 1. Well, no, minus. I got to put that in a bracket. And then that will be 8x minus 3 minus 4x plus 1. So this distance here is going to be 4x minus 2. Now, as you guys can see, your perimeter for this side is going to be looking so much more uglier, because we've got, I'm going to start from the bottom left and go around. So I've got 2 plus 2x plus 1 plus 4x minus 1 plus 6x minus 4 plus 2x plus 1 plus 4x minus 1 plus 2x plus 4x minus 2 is equal to 20. So as you guys can see, both of these methods, they're going to work out, but it's just that the shortcut method definitely is going to be so much more quicker, and you're going to have less chance of making mistakes with that second method. Sorry, the first method. But we'll do both of them anyway, just to show you guys. So we got, what is it here? We just expand these two brackets. We're going to get 16x minus 6 plus 2 times 4x is 8x, 2 times 1 is 2. So we've got 24x minus 4 equals to 20. 24x is equal to 20 plus 4. And then we're going to get 24x is equal to 24. X is equal to 24 divided by 24. So x is equal to 1. In the other method, we've got to collect all of our like terms. So we've got 2x, 4, 6, so that's 12, 14, 18, 20, 24. And then we've got 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. Yep. 2, negative 4, negative 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 4. So it still works out the same, but it's just one of them is going to be a lot more work for you compared to the other method. So as you guys can see, it's the same answer for both methods, but obviously doing the shortcut, when you take that little cut piece and just moving it around to create a nice shape, it's definitely going to save you a lot of time, and possibly like there's a lot of opportunities to make mistakes in that method on the left hand side, but the right hand side is just going to be like so much more quicker. Yeah, sure. And like all I've done is let me draw the diagram again, but what I'm going to do, so all I'm doing is, because this is the lawn right now, right? The yellow part is the lawn. Just going to kind of sketch it out there. All I'm doing is I'm taking this green line and I'm actually bringing it over to this side to make that edge. I'm moving the edge to that side there, because it's not, because perimeter, it's, how do I say it? Because the perimeter is 20, right? It doesn't matter which way I arrange it. As long as I'm not repeating any extra lines, that border is still going to be the same length. And that's exactly what's happening here. So when I move this blue one to the top, so if you think about it, I've kind of like reflected it, but the perimeter, the length of that rope, length of that border is still going to be the same. By doing that, I'm actually creating a much bigger, nicer rectangle, rather than just doing like crazy amount of calculations. So you guys can do that for perimeter, because remember, perimeter is like when they give you perimeter questions, the line, the border is fixed. So you could actually manipulate the pieces around to create a nice, much better shape for you guys. So let me give you another example, all right? Like while we're here, I might as well give you this, kind of like this idea. So sometimes your shape would look like this. So say if it looks like an L shape, right, like this. Let's say we do something like this. If I tell you the perimeter for this is, I'm just going to go 10, 6, 4, 2, 1, 3. Okay, if you have a look at this example, the perimeter is, we actually add all of this from top. So 10, 2, 6, 18, 19, 19, 22, 20, can't actually do this right now, 26. Yeah, so this one is 26. But what I'm suggesting you guys to do is like this. Because this looks like this, what I'm saying here is, because this is the green line, move the green line here, and that's still going to be 6. and this part here is 1. Move it to the top, that's still going to be 1. And then what you've got here is still the same answer. But this time you can just go 2 times 10 plus 2 times 3. You're going to get 20 plus 6, which is 26. Yeah, pretty much, Kavish. Like, so what you're doing is like you're just shifting those lines to make that into a nicer rectangle. Natalia, this excellence question, follow-up for this question is not going to be find the, given an area, I'm not going to ask you to find x because we've already figured out what x is. But I'm just going to, I've got a different type of question, but I want to ask you guys, is there any other questions with the perimeter of this shape? Kiar, no, this would be a merit question because I mean all you're doing is just finding the x value, and it's a linear equation, so you're not going to get anything more than a merit. All right, guys, last question for the night, but I'm going to have to copy this question again. Okay, give me 1 second. I want to see if I can try and copy this. Oy vey, that is a messy question. Wow, that's super fast today. Okay, just give me a second. I just got to get rid of a few things. What am I missing here? Last question, guys. Just give me a second. I just want to write it up. Pink line. What am I missing? 2x, 4x plus 1. 2x plus 1. Yep, got everything here. Okay, so this is the last question for the night, and it is going to look like this. If the area of the lawn, oh no, hang on. If L equals 8x squared minus 2x minus 1, find an expression for the area of the lawn in terms of L. All right, this is the last question for the night, guys. So this question, all I'm gonna tell you guys is this: like when you see something like this, first thing, don't panic, all right? Because all it's asking you to do is find an expression for the area. So all you have to do is get an equation for the area of the lawn. That's it. Do that, and then see if you can try and put L somewhere in it. So I'll give you guys 1 minute to kind of get started. And if you're stuck after a minute, then what I might just do is just do the top line, and then you guys can work through it, and then see how you guys go, and then I'll work through it. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to try and see if you can get started, and then I'll go through the very first part of the question. Also remember, for these types of questions, drawing diagrams definitely helps. Okay, so what we are trying to do is we're trying to get an expression for the area. We're not really trying to solve it. We are just trying to find a formula for it. So if you want to find the area of the lawn, what we'll have to do is we have to take the big rectangle, which I'm going to highlight in green. So that's the big rectangle. We're going to minus the garage minus the flowers, and that should equal the lawn. Okay, that is my first clue for you guys. So the area of the big rectangle minus the garage, and then running out of colors, minus the flowers, is going to give you the area of the lawn. Let me know if you want me to kind of start going ahead with this, or if you guys want to actually have a go by yourself. I'll just be quiet. Now, all the measurements for those rectangles have already been given, guys. All you got to do is just expand the brackets, simplify it, and trust me, you will be able to do this question. Okay, so let's do the first part of it. The green rectangle's base is 8x minus 3. Height is 4x plus 1. The garage is 2x plus 1. And height is 4x minus 1. The flower bed, 4x minus 1 and 2x. So what we've got here is just this massive quadratic equation that we need to expand. Minus 2x plus 1, 4x minus 1, minus 4x minus 1 times 2x. Alright guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of work through this question very slowly. And of course, if you have any questions, just ask away. So expanding the quadratics, just remember that you've got two negatives you got to deal with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I put them in a big red bracket, just so that I don't stuff up my negative questions, all right? So the next thing is expanding each of these brackets and then simplifying it as far as I can. So I'm going to get 8 and 4 is 32x squared plus 8x minus 12x minus 3 minus, I'm going to put this big red bracket and expand these brackets now, which is going to give me 8x squared minus 2x plus 4x minus 1. I hope I'm not going to make a mistake, but it's a very high chance I will, because it's just so easy to make these mistakes, right? Oh, this one's not too bad. This is just 8x squared minus 2x. Now, because I have that red bracket, before I actually, you know what, I'll simplify everything before bringing it out of the red brackets. I've got 32x squared minus 4x minus 3 minus, I'm still keeping everything inside the red bracket for this one anyway. I'm going to get 8x squared plus 2x minus 1. This red bracket, I'm going to actually take it out, because remember there's a negative 1 in front of it. So I have to multiply negative 1 with 8x squared and 2x, which gives me minus 8x squared plus 2x. Now I want to work with this, what do we got? 32x squared minus 8x squared, that's 16x squared. Negative 4x and 2x is negative 2x minus 3. And then of course I've got a negative 1 in front of this bracket, and I want to multiply each of these terms out, which means I'm going to get minus 8x squared minus 2x plus 1. So 16 minus 8, I think I've made a mistake somewhere. That's not 16, that's 24. Whoops, that's alright. 24 minus 8, 16x squared minus 4x minus 2. Now this is what my final answer is. But if you look at the question itself, the question says if L equals 8x squared minus 2x minus 1. And if I look at my final answer, I've got 2 as a common factor, so I'm going to take it out. And when I take out 2 as a common factor, I'm going to get 8x squared minus 2x minus 1. Basically, this entire thing is L. And so I can just replace that with 2L. So area of lawn equals to 2L. So this question here is worth an excellence question. I'm just trying to see where 4L minus 32. Yeah. Consistently, blah blah blah. Yeah, so anywhere up to this line here is going to get you a merit, and any kind of pair of brackets that you've expanded correctly and simplified is going to get you an achieved for this question. Cool, guys. Any questions about this? I'll put a few line numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Who's this? And like it can vary between 3 sometimes, and sometimes it could be 2. Yeah, so it really depends on the exam paper itself. Like sometimes I've seen like 3 excellence. Sometimes they actually give like 2 E's and 2 merits. I'm not sure color track. I mean, this is like from a few years ago. I just picked a random paper and kind of made up, swap the numbers around to create questions. What software do you use for your whiteboard? Oh, it's OneNote, mate. Arian. But guys, that's basically us for today. Yeah. What's the difference between finding the expression and solving the equation? Solving the equation, they usually say like, oh, if the area equals to blah, and then find x. So what you would do in this situation is like, say for example, if they said the area is, I don't know, 40 or something like that, find x. You would get up to this point and then put it equal to 40 and then solve the quadratic where you get the two solutions. That's solve. And then when they ask you to write it in expression, this is what they mean by. Well, McKay, if you look at the question, right, the question actually says if L equals to this, find an expression. They're not really asking you to actually solve the, no, they're not asking you to solve the equation, because all they're asking is if L equals to this, find the area in terms of L. So they're not asking you to solve it. So Talia and you both were asking their question. Absolutely no idea, Anne, as to what the paper would look like. It's no idea. Oh, what happened here? It's gone completely dark. There we go. No worries, guys. Any other questions before I take off for the evening? So tomorrow's stream we'll be doing something similar, Talia, but of course we'll be doing like different types of questions. So I'll pick like another section from that same year and then make like 5 questions. So you guys get like quite a nice range of achieve merit and excellence questions. Look, the important thing is just practice. Like, once you do these questions, go back and try like the old papers, try some of the questions. Now, if you want to practice these 5 questions again, 2019 question 1, section 1 is probably the one you want to practice in. That should kind of help you answering these types of 5 questions that we did today, because that's what I base my questions on. So that way you guys get like good practice. Any other questions, folks? Wow, that is a long time, Dana. 5 years. I'm trying to think. What year was that? 2019 or 18? Jeez, 2018. I was only like streaming like for a couple of years then. No worries, Kavish. Have a good night, man. See you tomorrow, guys. Folks, before I forget, just my usual plea at the end of the night before I stream, before I end the stream, let people know that I do exist, because a lot of kids don't actually find this till the very last minute, and then they're like stressed out as hell. So please, if you do have folks that don't know about this, pass it along. Yeah, pretty much appreciate it. That's all I need from you guys. Have a good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8, and we'll try and do the 2019 paper, like a second question, section 2. We'll try and do a variation of it so you get a bit more variety of questions. No worries. You're welcome. Have a good night, guys. See ya.